My name's Nader. Are you thinking about moving to Halifax, Nova Scotia? I'm going to give you some tips on what it's like to live in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and how you can make the experience better, especially as a student. The first piece of advice I want to give you is vodka. Lots and lots of vodka. Okay, maybe not actually vodka, but when you move to Halifax, you have to consider that the winters are gonna be really harsh. It may not be as cold as somewhere else in Canada. I mean, if you're moving here from Tennessee or California or Greece, you're gonna freeze and probably cry for most of the months you live in Halifax. But if you're already in Canada and you're used to the cold, or you're from somewhere cold, you're moving to Halifax, good. It's only gonna get a little bit harder because there's gonna be a lot of precipitation, a lot of snow. Some winters are gonna be okay, but a lot of them you'll be buried in snow. Even your house will be buried in snow. Now I'm gonna say some nice things before Nova Scotia Tourism sues me for everything I have. People in Halifax are actually very nice. They're extremely laid back. It means when you call someone on a Sunday, chances are they're not gonna answer. But at the same time, people are gonna wait for you when you cross the street. If you've ever been to England and try to cross the street, they will run you over. If you've ever been to Germany and try to cross the street when you're not supposed to, they will run you over and laugh. But in Halifax, if you cross the street when you're not supposed to, don't do it. But if you do, chances are people are gonna stop for you and they're gonna love you. They won't crush your guts on the road. Another thing about Halifax is it's very damp a lot of the time. So if you can invest in a dehumidifier, which unfortunately I don't have enough to really get a dehumidifier, but if you do, you should invest in it. That will take a lot of the humidity out of your home and stop you from feeling like you're always sleeping in a tent or living in a tent. It always feels like a tent in here. One more thing about Halifax is you have to maintain a good reputation, because if you're a bad person, everyone's gonna know. Halifax may seem like a big city, like Vancouver or Toronto, but it's really quite small. Every time you walk outside, you see about 357 people you know. You can be a good person sometimes in Toronto and be a bad person another time, and you know, half the people are gonna think you're good, half the people are gonna think you're bad. But if you're in Halifax and you fart in an elevator, everyone is going to find out. Also, because Halifax is pretty small, you don't need like 27 years to see the whole thing. You need about 1 week and you'll familiarize yourself with the entire city if you have the ability to kind of map things out in your head like a normal person. It's really easy to get around, it's easy to find your bearings, and it's really an easy place. At the same time, it's not a very planned city. So if you're looking, like if you're in an area where there's not a lot of stores, you're just gonna see houses and houses with siding, and downtown you're gonna find a graveyard smack dab in the middle of it for no reason, because a lot of the city isn't planned very well. And the Halifax explosion, which happened quite some figgity-wiggity long times ago, kind of affected the city in that way as well. Things were rebuilt and they weren't really rebuilt in the best way possible, is the best way to put it. But at the same time, it's very nice. It has a good soul and it has character that you'll miss if you leave. So if you're planning to move to Nova Scotia, or Halifax specifically, remember, it's a nice place, it has character, you're gonna get to know your way around. But if you're into the larger, more metropolitan ways of life and you wanna live in downtown Manhattan, then Halifax, unfortunately, won't be the California you're looking for. So I hope this helped you out a little bit, and check out some of the rest of my videos. Subscribe, your fellow Canadian giving you travel advice, tips and tricks on places to live, and just every single magical random video in the world right to your YouTube newsfeed. So hope you guys enjoy. Take care.